I went backpacking in Australia. But my brother's best friend followed me home. Chapter 1: The Trip That Changed Everything. People always say you find yourself when you travel. I didn't expect someone else to find me instead. My name is Sophie Lim 23 years old, born and raised in Singapore. After graduating from university, I decided to spend 3 months backpacking around Australia before starting my career. My older brother, Ryan had studied in Melbourne years earlier. Before I left, he handed me a folded piece of paper. If anything happens, call these guys. I opened it. There were 4 names. His old university friends. They are practically family. I laughed. I'm not going to bother them. Ryan grinned. You'll change your mind after carrying your backpack for a week. He was right. I hope you love what Drama Spark brings you. Story is written by Pearl. Please remember to subscribe and like so that we can continue to create more stories. Hashtag Chapter 2: The Spare Room. 2 weeks later, I arrived in Sydney exhausted. Hostels were full because of a music festival. Hotels were ridiculously expensive. Reluctantly, I called the first number. A deep voice answered. Hello. Hi. I'm Ryan Lim's sister. There was silence. Then laughter. Sophie. Yes. I'm Lucas Bennett Star. I've heard about you for years. 20 minutes later, a black ute pulled up beside me. A tall man climbed out wearing jeans, boots, and an easy smile. You've got your brother's stubbornness. And you've got too much luggage. I rolled my eyes. I've been backpacking. It looks like you've packed the whole of Singapore. Chapter 3: My brother's friend. Lucas was 37 years older than me. He owned a small adventure tourism company on Australia's east coast. Despite running a successful business, he lived simply. Surfboard in the garage. Camping gear everywhere. Dog named Rusty. His spare room became my home. Stay as long as you need. I'll pay rent. You'll help cook. I'm not a great cook. Perfect. We'll both survive. Chapter 4: 2 weeks together. Those 2 weeks flew by. Lucas showed me Australia that tourists rarely saw. Hidden beaches. Mountain lookouts. Tiny country cafes. Local farmers' markets. We watched whales from the cliffs. Camped beneath endless stars. Drove for hours with the windows down. Somewhere along the way, the awkwardness disappeared. He became my favorite travel companion. Every morning began with coffee. Every evening ended with conversations on the veranda. About dreams, family, failures, life. He listened more than he spoke. And when he did speak, every word mattered. Chapter 5: The Unexpected Feeling. One evening we watched the sunset over Bondi Beach. You'll be leaving soon. I've got flights booked. He nodded quietly. I know. For the first time. Neither of us smiled. Back at the house, I caught him looking at me. Not in an uncomfortable way. Just thoughtfully. As though he was trying to solve a puzzle. Later that night, I overheard him talking to Ryan on the phone. No. I haven't told her. I don't even know what this feeling is. There was a pause. I've never met anyone like your sister. My heart skipped. Chapter 6: Goodbye. The morning I left, Lucas insisted on driving me to the airport. Neither of us talked much. At departures, he lifted my backpack onto the trolley. Take care of yourself, you too. He scratched the back of his neck. I'll miss having someone steal my cereal. I laughed. You'll survive. I hope so. I hugged him. It lasted only a few seconds, but neither of us wanted to let go. I walked through immigration without looking back. If I did, I knew I'd cry. Chapter 7: An Empty House. Back in Sydney, Lucas walked into his silent house. Rusty looked around, waiting for me. My coffee mug still sat beside the sink. A paperback novel lay on the bedside table. My laughter echoed in his memory. He couldn't concentrate. Work meetings felt meaningless. Surfing wasn't fun anymore. Even sunsets looked different. His best mate, Ryan, called that evening. "So? She's gone." "Yeah." "How do you feel?" Lucas stared out at the ocean. "I don't know if it's love. But I know I already miss her." Chapter 8: The Decision. For 3 days he tried convincing himself it would pass. It didn't. Instead, the feeling became stronger. He replayed every conversation, every laugh, every road trip, every moment. Finally, his grandmother visited. "You look miserable. I met someone. And she lives in Singapore." His grandmother smiled knowingly. "So what are you waiting for?" "I don't even know if she feels the same." She looked directly into his eyes. "Sometimes your head asks for certainty, but your heart already knows the answer." That night, Lucas booked a one-way ticket. Chapter 9: A Surprise Visitor. A week after returning home, I heard my doorbell. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, I froze. Lucas stood there holding a backpack. The same backpack he'd carried while traveling with me. "You?" He smiled nervously. "Hi. What are you doing here?" "I think." He took a deep breath. "I followed my heart." Chapter 10: The Truth. We walked around Marina Bay for hours. I've never done anything this impulsive. I noticed. I kept asking myself if it was love. "So?" He looked at me. "I still don't know what people call it. But every morning I woke up wishing you were still in Australia. Every meal reminded me of you. My house felt empty. My dog missed you." He laughed softly. And I realized. It didn't matter what I called the feeling. My heart kept telling me to find you. I smiled through tears. "I was hoping you would." Chapter 11: Meeting the Family. When Ryan opened the front door and saw Lucas standing beside me, he burst out laughing. "I knew it." Lucas looked confused. "You knew?" Ryan nodded. "The moment you agreed to let Sophie stay." "You never let anyone stay." Lucas sighed. "You set this up." "I only gave her your number. The rest was all you." Mum invited everyone in. Within an hour, Lucas fit into our family as though he'd always belonged. Chapter 12: Long Distance No More. Instead of returning immediately, Lucas extended his stay. He explored Singapore. We ate hawker food, walked through gardens by the bay, visited Sentosa. He loved everything, especially breakfast at the local coffee shops. "I could get used to this." "You mean the food?" He smiled. "I mean waking up knowing you're only 20 minutes away." Chapter 13: Choosing a Future. Eventually, reality arrived. Australia or Singapore? Instead of asking me to move, Lucas surprised everyone. "I can open an office here." His adventure company had already begun expanding into Asia. Singapore made perfect sense. Business meetings became office hunting. Soon, he had a small team, a modest office, and a reason to stay. Not because of business, because of me. Chapter 14: Home. 1 year later, we returned to Australia together. This time, not as strangers, not as host and backpacker, but as a couple. We stood outside the little house where everything began. Lucas smiled. "Funny." "What?" "You came looking for a place to sleep. And I found the place my heart belongs." I squeezed his hand. "And you followed me all the way home." He kissed my forehead. "I'd do it again." Epilogue. People still ask Lucas why he flew halfway across the world without knowing what would happen. His answer never changes. "I wasn't sure if it was love. I only knew that every road I traveled seemed to lead back to her." Sometimes love doesn't arrive with certainty. Sometimes it begins with 2 weeks of shared breakfasts, long drives, and quiet conversations. Sometimes your heart reaches the destination before your mind understands the journey. And sometimes The greatest souvenir from a backpacking adventure isn't a postcard, a photograph, or a passport stamp. It's the person who decides you're worth crossing an ocean for. The end. I hope you love what Drama Spark bring you. Story is written by Pearl. Please remember to subscribe and like so that we can continue to create more stories.